3. Getting ready to start. I'm going to let a little B-roll go here, Coach. He's got it on the wide angle. It's recording. In 3, 2, and good evening, everybody, and welcome to Week 7 of the Nixa Touchdown Club Coaches Show. Man, we had a woo! Coach, we always start out right off the bat. We got a job to do here. We're going to put the big score from the Nixa versus Webb City game. And, of course, what was that score, football fans? Not all at once. 41-27, man. Big victory over the Webb City Cardinals. You know, Coach, something that we talked about last week as we start to break down this, and I'm going to get into that just a little bit, but I want you to be thinking about repeating kind of what you said about the program and how Roderick was an inspiration to you coming into the Ozarks. But before we get to that, we do want to thank Signorama for supporting us with our sign. Of course, our premier sponsor, Jenkins CPA. And look at that. We got a new graphic. Vance Jenkins, his senior year.
Wow.
His marketing team sent that over to me today.
What a stud.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, Eddie. Where's that number 3? We appreciate the support Jenkins CPA gives. Of course, our host here, Big Whiskey's coach. They take care of the coaches. They take care of the players. We appreciate that. And, of course, it's our location, our host here. They make sure that we have all the resources we need. Our Player of the Week is brought to you by Price Cutter. And, of course, that brings us to the introduction of Coach Perry. And that's sponsored by Greg's Mower Shop, located just north of Harder House right here in Nixa. You need a lawnmower repaired, contact Greg's Mower Shop. We appreciate his support. Well, Coach, Webb City, you know, they're a fantastic program, one that everybody in the state always either is scared to play or steps up their game thinking, hey, tonight's the night that we're going to beat Webb City, and we finally got it done for Nixa.
Well, it was a great night, and, you know, their luck had to run out eventually, right? I mean, you can't beat somebody every single year for your whole life. So, you know, we were fortunate. We were able to get a win, and it's a program that, you know, we want to have one like them. You know, we want to put one out there that,
right,
you know, is capable of winning every single week, you know, in state championships. And, you know, I mean, they're a role model for us.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, they were doing youth programs before anybody else was doing a youth program tied to the football program in the Ozarks.
No doubt.
Yeah. Well, Coach, you know what? Right off the bat, man, we get the football. We get them 3 and out. We hold them on a 3 and out series. We get the ball back, and we do a 55-yard drive, and it capitalizes with a touchdown pass to we need to come up with a nickname the Kaninsal to Combs connection or something. But, yeah, what a great opening drive, Coach.
You know, it was pretty good. He's done a fantastic job of learning the routes and being able to run things really well. I mean, this right here is just an easy play for us, you know, because of his athleticism. But if you see, he kind of gives the guy a little slant look, and the guy bites on it, and he gets back in the back of the end zone, and Connor makes a great throw.
Yeah, gets us on the board. Coach, they do come down the field. They're a good football program. They adjust a little bit. They do score a touchdown. But I love this block right here by Jaden Avon.
You know, one of the first things that I've always do when I watch another team, when we start breaking them down, I watch the way they try to block an extra point. And if they don't go very hard, my first thought is they're not a well-coached team. So one thing we try really hard to do is that's a chance to save a point. You know, why would you not go hard? So we did a great job, and we was able to block one and save it. We
get the ball back, move the ball down. Great connection here between Kaninsal to Rylan Michelle.
Rylan does a fantastic job. He adjusted the ball in the air really well. I think folks, you know, fall asleep on how quick he is. He's really fast. And these safeties, you know, like last year, they played so hard down in the box that we knew we were going to get some chances to get behind them. You know, you can't tackle the ball on the line of scrimmage and cover a guy running a seam route. It's physically impossible.
And, of course, here's another connection to Combs again in the corner. You know, we've seen Michelle develop this year. We've seen him come along where he wasn't playing those early games as aggressive. You guys are going to him more and more in the air.
He's a great athlete. I mean, he's one of the better athletes on the team. Can probably play anything out there, honestly. Very smart, knows every position, knows what to do. Was a quarterback coming up. And, you know, I think being a baseball player, center fielder helps him track the ball. He really adjusts to the ball well. You know, he's a really good player.
Well, his dad was my running back when I was a senior. He
really?
was, we graduated high school together. So Eric, Michelle, and I, we played football from Mighty Mites all the way up. Right. So it makes me happy to see his son doing well. Coach, we have an opportunity for growth here. We've had this happen 2 weeks in a row. Webb City got the best of our special teams on one particular play. How are you working the kids behind the scenes to help stop this in the future?
Well, last week we gave up a kickoff return for the first time in forever. So we worked really hard on it. Like, we doubled down on it. And then we give up almost another one. So this week, we're just going to skip it and not do it.
You're just not going to practice at all.
We're just going to take the week off on the kickoff team and see if we can do better this week.
Well, I mean, of course, it's not a negative thing towards the program. Also give credit to Webb City. They're a good special teams football team as well. And he finds a gap here, and he gets a big play. What I think was most impressive about this is that as how we recover, we're going to see that seam here, how it just kind of happens. Of course, Austin McCracken kind of saves the touchdown here at the end of this play.
He does, and that's really his first time ever being out there, and that's what he was out there for, was to keep it from going, 95. It only went 65 or 75, you know what I'm saying, which gives us a chance. But that we're so much better than that. Like, we have worked on it, and we will get better at that this week.
Coach, how do you defend this play? Jaden Avon does his job. The kid throws up I want to say Hail Mary, and Webb City comes up with a touchdown pass.
You know what? Coach Roderick last night, I asked him about that play, and he said he asked his quarterback what he was thinking. His quarterback said, just don't take a sack because Coach is going to kill me. So all he did was throw it as far as he could, and what a great throw. He couldn't have done that any better if he'd went out there and practiced for 2 hours.
They go for 2. Coach, look at your defense here.
Great job. No doubt about it.
Man, that's a stick, isn't it?
No doubt.
I mean, I think he misread the RPO, because if you look at it, he probably could have handed it off to his running back, and he marched in for 2 points. And, of course, our defense.
We were on him, we did a really good job of defending the run all night long, I thought. They count on getting 3 and 4 yards a snap, but I thought our defense played really well.
Coach, this second half, or the halftime, had to be a lot more, I wouldn't say enjoyable, but a little bit more positive than the Ozark game. You come out in the second half, we see a complete shakeup of your offense.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we came out and did the same thing we did in the first half. We just, when we crossed midfield, we had this little package put in. Webb City, they make a living running the football at you and just being tougher than you. So we wanted to try to, give them a dose of their own medicine. So we kind of put this together, and Jaden was absolutely awesome. Now, we outweighed them probably 75 pounds a man, so like, we're bigger, we were stronger, and we're handing it to a guy that's probably 235 pounds and strong and athletic, with 2 bulls in front of him blocking with Golson and Avery. Like, it had been unstoppable the few times we had run it. What we didn't want to do was, leave that on the sideline and not do it for the game. So I think we ran it 10 snaps. I think he had 10 carries for over 100 yards.
Yeah, he ended up with 102 yards. Of course, Spencer Ward, 25 carries, 160 yards. And Coach, we're going to get to Kaninsal here. He had a rebound week, ended up with 12 for 18, 219 yards. Coach, nearly 500 yards of total offense.
That's pretty good against Webb City. I mean, it was well-rounded. We was able to run it. We was able to throw it. I mean, we had a lot of receivers catch balls. We had a lot of, runners. I mean, Spencer's been great. I mean, to go out there as a sophomore and do what he's done is pretty special.
Well, Coach, it's a pivotal moment in the game where the score's pretty close, and what a great connection between Kaninsal and Jordan Turner.
We had taken a timeout. We had a different play called, and they come out in a little different defense, and so we called timeout. And, some people say 3rd and 15 is a play you should run it or screen them or whatever, and he had single coverage over there. He can run. He's athletic, and Connor threw a great ball, and Jordan made a great play.
Coach, what was the penalty they called on you after this play?
After this play?
Wasn't it after this play?
Oh, it might have been celebration.
Yeah.
But what a party pooper, right? I mean, you score late to go up on Webb City, who you've not beat, and for them to even look over there and throw that penalty was kind of funny, to be honest with you.
It kind of was. Of course, now your defense is going to step up late in the game, and I understand that Antonio Perez is normally in on this play. Of course, he's out with an injury. I think that's still to be determined. And I forgot who come in. I had it written down.
I think it was Avery that recovered it.
Yes, Avery Rutherford. He comes in, picks up a fumble recovery here for you.
That was a really good play. Like when they did that, because at that point in time in the game, they were driving. Mm-hmm. Had they scored, they would have went for 2, and it would have come down to the 2-point play.
Yep.
But when that ball hit the ground and we got on it, I knew we were in pretty good shape.
Again, being in the right place at the right time. But what a great return here by our defensive back.
Yeah, Jordan was a wide receiver who we flipped over about halfway through, and he's just gotten better and better and better. And I think Friday night was his best game yet, so we're excited about him.
So it's exciting stuff, Coach. Well, there it is, kind of a recap of the big Webb City game. Coach, how did you feel emotionally, and how did your coaching staff feel after finally putting a W on the board against Webb City?
Just very grateful. I told the kids, even you go back to, Pearl, say we went 16-0 and won a state championship. I was more proud Friday night just because of what our guys have done. I mean, the work they've put in, like, we didn't just beat them Friday night. We beat them, 18 months ago when we went to work trying to figure out how to do it. And all those mornings waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, driving in, working out, there's been a lot of work put into it. So, I was mighty proud of our kids that, for what they had accomplished, because that was a big feat.
Coach, I got to call a new name. I haven't called that much this season. Tanner Grant had 10 tackles for you the other night.
Tanner's come off, the bench for us and done a fantastic job. He's grown. He got thrown into the fire early on when Michael was hurt, and then he was, because of the way things went with Antonio getting banged up and stuff like that, like he was able to get thrown back out there Friday night, and he's done a really good job for us. He's going to be a really good football player.
Coach, it's time to get to our offense, or our player of the week, not necessarily offensive player of the week. I asked you, I said, Coach, who do you want it to be? And without a shadow of a doubt, who did you say?
Oh, Jaden Avon, no doubt. I mean, from what he did on both sides of the ball, what an outstanding game. What a great kid. He's grown so much since I've been here. He's just been a pleasure to coach.
Well, Coach, Price Cutter would like him to have a free steak on the house. Of course, I'm sure you'll get that to him. And, just an outstanding performance. It seems like every time I turned around, he was impacting the game in some way.
He had a great week of practice.
But it wasn't just him. It was a lot of players, though.
No, I mean, our whole team was fantastic. I mean, you can't go hardly pick out one player, and say they made a huge difference in that game, because we had several big plays throughout the game on both sides of the ball and the special teams. It was a total team win.
Coach, our fans showed up for you on Friday night.
They were awesome. I mean, our fans have been great. They're a big factor in what we do. I mean, you think about the way our guys play, like we get energy from them, and in turn, the way they play from the energy they give it back to the crowd. So it kind of works together. So that has been absolutely awesome to watch.
Yeah, it's fun to watch the students the other night too. They were into the game, even though there was a dance afterwards, I guess, right?
I don't know.
Did you go to the dance, Coach?
I did not. I went to a dance, but it was not at the school, and I did a little dancing.
Coach, tell us about our Coach of the Week.
Our Coach of the Week is Coach Kinsey Medley. Kinsey's a guy that we were able to add on to our staff this year. He coached somewhere up in Springfield. I'm not even sure the name of the school, to be honest with you. But I had interviewed him a year ago, and just when this opportunity come available, man, I was excited to get him, and he has done a fantastic job. He's a great high school football coach that has a really bright future, and, I've always been a little bit lucky, and, assistant coaches, like the ones that were here were great. The ones that we've brought in have been great, and he's just like them. He's great.
And what does he specialize in, Coach?
He specializes in eating like me, but in the meantime, he also coaches the offensive line, and does a fantastic job with those guys.
Very good. Well, we're going to meet Coach Kinsey Medley coming up right after the break from one of our premier sponsors, which is Jenkins CPA. So we'll be right back with the Coaches Show here at Big Whiskies in Nixa. Okay. Yes, I do have those. Thank you. Yep. All right, Coach, come on up, man. You like the way I had those groups lined up like that? That's right. So the medley was more. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. Sounds good. All right, we're going to show. What do I have for you? Okay, so I've got we'll talk about it briefly. It's one of Jaden Aiden's other touchdowns, and it's down on that goal line where he just kept pounding. Yep. And finally punched him in, and I've got the end zone view of that. Okay. So I can't slow it down on the software, but I could have it. I didn't run out of time. But anyway, so let me briefly talk about that. Talk about your history a little bit, and what you enjoy about working at Coach Berry and being on the team.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
What do you teach at school?
I teach at SCORE. I teach science.
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Hey, and when you go, mention Coach Berry's shoes. Okay, ask about his new shoes.
Okay, all right.
Coach Wells told me to say that.
We might open up with that. Are you guys ready to get back to the show? Okay, here we go. All right, coming back to the Nixa Touchdown Club in 3, 2, 1. Well, welcome back to the Nixa Touchdown Club Coaches Show. And, of course, big thanks to Jenkins CPA. And Vance and Heather are here tonight joining us. Vance is our producer behind the scenes. He's running the cameras for us, and we appreciate all their support. And, of course, again, look at that picture, Coach. You see number 3 there, graduate in 1991. And, Coach, I don't know if you know this, the class of 91 was at the game the other night. They had their homecoming. Part of their reunion celebration was coming to the game on Friday night. I wish more of the classes would do that. 92 needs to do that next year. As we need to start that new tradition where on Friday nights they're coming back to the game. Well, Coach, I got to ask you something, and I didn't want to say it with him sitting here because, you know, he does have that head coach. But have you seen his shoes?
Oh, yeah.
Did you see his shoes? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's
Coach Perry's new shoes.
New tradition he's starting out.
I don't know how we can showcase those. We may have to get a picture of those. But, yeah, I like those shoes. Maybe all the coaches need to get some of those.
Oh, that would be fine with me.
Coach Medley, he said he came from Springfield. Where have you coached, and what's your history with in coaching football?
So started out, I coached at Springfield Central for 3 years, and then like Coach Perry said earlier, I interviewed last year, didn't work out, came back around this year, had the opportunity to join the staff, and jumped right on it, and this is only my 3rd year coaching varsity football.
Well, Coach, you just told me off the camera you're teaching science at our SCORE high school, which Cheryl Scott, Principal Scott, she's a really long-time friend of mine. We have some scholarships through the Nixa Chamber that goes there. Do you like being over the SCORE school?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I love it. I teach biology, forensics, and physical science, so I kind of get to cover all ages, all different types of sciences, so I really enjoy it.
Well, we got the job done the other night. Let's talk about our offensive line here just a little bit. As this is another one of the Jaden Avon touchdowns. We're driving down the field. We're in the red zone. And look at our guys open up these holes.
Oh, yeah. No, super proud of the guys up front. You know, all week we had stressed that we got to bully the bully. Like Coach Perry said, you know, Webb City historically has always been that team that has out-physicaled everybody, so we wanted to really take it to them. So we just got behind the big guys up front, and we stuck it in.
All right, so let's go through your offensive line here. I don't know if I can pause that for you. Let me get back over there. Okay, so this is the one of the plays here. So let's go left to right best you can, and tell me who's on that offensive line.
Yeah, so tight end, left to right, we've got Jaden Antonelli, Sam Brower, Thomas Schulte, Garrett Davidson, Carson, Landon Carson, and then we've got Ethan Cho.
So do you guys have a nickname for the offensive line?
Oh, yeah. Trench Gang.
The Trench Gang. Very good. I see some of these guys are in here tonight, aren't they?
Yes, sir.
Some of the Trench Gang. All right, so we got a big season the rest of the way. We've got, of course, Carl Junction coming up, and then a big game against Carthage. I'd like to know, as you're a part of this coaching staff, I've had the chance to ask a lot of them what they enjoy about being part of the Nixa staff. What do you think is the most – what is your favorite part about being a part of our team?
Really, I would say it's 2 things. One, I love the kids that we have on our team. You know, I've been a couple other places, and these kids, like, they love the game, they love their coaches, and most of all, they love their teammates, and they love being around their teammates, and it's truly that family atmosphere. They play for each other, and, you know, that leads to you winning a lot of ball games.
Yeah, well, we're glad you're part of our team here. Coach, did you enjoy your meal from Big Whiskey's tonight?
Oh, yeah.
What'd you
Loved
get?
it.
Hey, Coach says you like to eat. What'd you get?
Yeah, I got the Viking burger, and then going to go sit down and get dessert.
All right. Was that being mixed over there? I heard the mixer
no.
going. Are you getting one of those?
That one's not mine.
That's not yours.
That one's
All
not
right.
mine.
Well, Coach, we got a couple of kids coming up after this. Is offensive. Of course, you're an offensive line. You're providing these guys time to perform. Give me a little feedback on Connor Kaninsal and Cale Combs.
Well, I think everybody kind of knows those are the dudes. You know, Connor, he's slinging it all over the field. And like you said earlier, you know, he had his bounce back week. He really played well for us. And then Cale, if you just put it within arm's reach, he's going to come down with it. So.
All right, very good. Well, we're going to come out back after the break. We got a message from Price Cutter, who sponsored our Player of the Week. Give Coach Medley a round of applause for being our Coach of the Week here. And we'll be back with 2 juniors this week. We're featuring some juniors right here on the Nixa Touchdown Club Coaches Show. All right, very good, Medley. Good job, man. All right, boys, come on up. Let me get you a mic. I need to grab that. Kaninsal.
Yeah, it's Houston. I didn't want to correct you.
I'm so tired though. I'm really not.
Mic check, check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, let's do, Kale, let's put you on this one, and Connor will put you on that one. And I'll tell you what, let's switch you around a little bit, just a little bit to the right, Kale, so that I can see you a little bit better. Yeah, something like that, and he's got a camera on you. Okay. Can you get it? Can you see him, Vance, and the other camera? Okay. All right. Let's see. Here we go. All right. Where's our stats at here? I'm going to bring our stats up. You guys good? Make sure you stay right here on the mic like this, all right? Okay, here we go. Coming back with our juniors. Back in 3, 2. Well, once again, welcome back to the Nixa Touchdown Club Coaches Show. Of course, you know, that was a message from Price Cutter. They've got our team store, and I was in there the other day. Ladies, we saw this today at the Nixa Chamber Luncheon. They have got some beautiful Eagle purses. I mean, they are nice. So if you're wanting to get one of those, be a great Christmas gift for the guys looking for something for their Lady Eagle fans. They got some cool stuff. Now, I know these guys probably don't want a purse, but you may want to get your mom something for Christmas, right? So what a great idea is a nice Nixa Eagle purse.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, makes sense. We're doing the right thing. That's good. I love it. We're going to go buy, one of the guys can go over and buy a bunch of purses. All right, let's jump into our two juniors here. First time on the Nixa Touchdown Club Coaches Show that we feature juniors. I asked Coach, I said, you know, who are we going to feature this week? He says, we have to bring up Connor Kaninsal and Kale Combs. So welcome to our juniors to the Nixa Touchdown Club Coaches Show. Just to give you some stats on just the Webb City game, again, Connor, you had a great night. 12 for 18, 66% completion rating, 219 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. And Kale, another great performance from you. We had 5 receptions, 85 yards. You're averaging 17 yards per catch, man. That is just fantastic stats, man, and we needed that on Friday night. And one of the big plays that we saw was, here it is, the Kaninsal to Combs connection. Connor, when you're setting up this play, I mean, are you seeing him, or are you just throwing it up and letting Kale do his thing?
It's a little bit of both. Obviously, I knew he was one-on-one out there with the guy, and I was pretty excited when he made the play call. I thought he was just going to keep running it because he'd been working all night, but when I saw him call fade, I was pretty excited. I knew Kale was going to go get it.
Yeah, and Kale, your job is to just run straight to the pylon, right?
Yeah, I mean, I try to stem him inside a little bit, get him to my inside, and then let Connor throw it to my outside shoulder.
You know, this was a great play here. This is the defensive play here, as we saw Jay Nate when Coach and I talked about it. But I want to try to jump ahead here. There's a big play coming up in the game that, Connor, you make 2 connections, one to Ryler Michelle right down the seam, and the next one to Kale Combs in the middle. Here it is. What's the play? What are you seeing on the field at this point?
Well, we've been running the ball really well, and this was just a play we put in where he's just going to run right by the safety because they bite pretty hard. And I missed Austin on it earlier in the game, and we got lucky this time and hit Ryland.
Yeah, Ryland's ended up made a couple big plays for you in the last few games too.
Yeah, of course, the Neosho and some of the other games.
Now, at this point, do you know the fade's coming? I mean, is that just the next call? I think that's the very next play is the fade to Kale Combs in the corner.
I didn't know it was coming, but when I saw him call it, I got pretty excited.
Yeah. Kale, this is your first year playing football since the 6th grade. Is that the way I understand it?
Yeah, that's correct.
What possessed you to leave the basketball court for a few months and come play football for Coach Perry?
I'd say, I don't know. Coach Perry talked to me a lot during the school day. I had a weights class with him, so he was talking to me a lot about it. He said it would help me for basketball in terms of being physical and being able to take contact. And I also had a lot of friends on the football team too, so if I could help out, then that's why I really
Well,
came up.
you've quickly become one of the best receivers, not only obviously at Nixa, but also within the COC and possibly the state. I mean, you're a junior now. You can only get better at that position. There's been a couple of times that I'm sure the coaches have talked to you about maybe playing a little defense when Connor throws one. You know, sometimes it happens, right? It does happen. And so you are enjoying playing the sport. We can count on you being out in your senior year as well, right?
Yeah, I'm for sure going to be here. Be out there in my senior year. I'm loving it.
Well, don't get me wrong. As much as I love football, I am looking forward to seeing you on the basketball court this year too. So, Connor Kaninsal, you started out the year not in the starting role. You kind of earned that spot. We had a couple of changes due to Ramon Green. You step in there. You've had some outstanding games. You had a challenge. Coach had to, let's just be real. We had to put you on the bench for a little bit. You still came out late in the Ozark game and hit a crucial pass to Jordan Turner right there. I think it was late in the third quarter last week.
I think it was the beginning of the 4th or something.
Okay, yeah, it was late in the game, yeah. So how did that impact you, and how does that help you get more focused? Because, man, I love your stats for this week. You did a really good job. Give our quarterback a round of applause for rebounding after kind of a rough week, which can happen.
You know, I mean, it happens. Everyone has bad games, so I just kind of didn't really worry about it. Just move on. You can't really think about it much, or it's just going to happen again.
All right. All right, before we wrap up, I got one final question for you guys. I was asking maybe a funny Coach Perry moment, maybe a funny coach moment. Did you come up with anything? Not really? All right, well, tell me this then. What is the funniest thing that's happened at practice or during a game or after a game all year long? What's been your most funny moment that just you couldn't stop laughing? Come on, give us something, guys. These parents and these fans are watching. They want to hear something, man. You got anything?
I'd say...
Don't make me ask you a boring question like what's your favorite subject at school. I don't want to do that. That's boring. Anything? Got anything for me?
I thought something was pretty funny. It was in between when we were kneeling in the fourth quarter.
Were you playing Retro Bowl too? Oh, no. Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
Austin McCracken was looking at the Webb City side, and he was like kind of pointing to him and going like this after we went. So that was pretty funny, but yeah, I can't really think of anything else.
Connor, got anything for us, buddy? Any final thoughts?
Not really.
All right, well, hey, we got a long way to go. See that scoreboard back there? We got Carl Junction, Carthage. We keep moving forward one game at a time. Guys, stay healthy, stay smart, keep up the good work. Give our juniors a round of applause for being on the Nixa Touchdown Club Coaches Show. Big Whiskies wants to give you a couple free appetizers for when you guys come back and come and enjoy Big Whiskies. We'll be right back with another special message from the Nixa community, and we'll do a final wrap-up with our plan to how we're going to battle Carl Junction next Friday night. We'll be back right after this for the Nixa Touchdown Club Coaches Show. All right, guys, good job, man. So you're going to have to get in press conferences one day when you all become famous. Hey, seriously, keep up the good work, guys.
You know what? You know what it is. After we beat Overclock on Saturday and ordered my first pair of Jordans. And I vowed that every time we beat them, I'm gonna wake up and order me a pair of Jordans. So these are actually Jordans. They're throwbacks to his college coach Dean Smith.
I like it. Okay, you guys ready? Coming back from our break here. In 3, 2. Well, welcome back to the Nixa Touchdown Club Coaches Show. We're at that time of the show where we start thinking about the next game, Coach. But before we do that, the students, there are athletes here, they didn't have anything funny to say, but would you like to say something about Kel Combs or Connor Kaninsal?
Well, I would say this. I think they're both outstanding young men that, I think Connor represents what we are about. I mean, life is going to be full of ups and downs, and, leadership is having a bad day and letting it go, like the game he had, it was just bad. It is what it is, but to be able to, throw that away and come back, I mean, that's what it's all about, you know what I'm saying? There's no way you can get better if you're sitting there worrying about the past, and I think that's a great example of us. And I did have Kelly in class, and I worked him hard, man. Like, I actually wrote a contract up that said, I promise I will only throw fades. I'll never send you across the middle. And we really don't send him across the middle a whole lot. We will throw a slant every once in a while. But what I do know is this, from being, in this so long is you only get one chance to be a high school kid.
That's right.
And like I told him after the game Friday night, like, he will remember that night, and I don't care how far he goes and what he does in his life, he will remember that night for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And that's what being a high school student is all about, man, is helping your school, helping your friends, helping your community succeed. And he has done a fantastic job of coming out there and helping us succeed.
And I respect the fact that some kids, they just want to focus on one sport or another. But, you know, as you look at Caleb James trying to play 2 different sports, you got Cale Combs, the Turner kid. I mean, a lot of these athletes. I remember when I was in school, of course, Vance and Coach Wells, I mean, you went from one sport to the next,
No
right?
doubt.
You go from football to basketball to either track or baseball, and it just was a never-ending cycle. So having these kids get more experience, I think, makes, like you said, a better athlete in the long run.
Well, it makes for a better person just in general. I mean, they're around more people. They're going to be more socially adept at what they do. I mean, I think John Golson's a great example of that. Like, he'll leave us and go to wrestling, then he'll go to baseball. I mean, I think the more you do, the better rounded individual you are. And these days are numbered, man. You only have so many high school days.
Well, Coach, we're going up against Carl Junction. They're on a down year, 3-4. They did have a big loss against Republic. But we've seen that in any given Friday night, we've talked about this before, we look at Neosho, we look at some of these other games. If we don't come out and bring our best at Carl Junction, you never know what might happen on a Friday night. I think you called it like opening up a box of Cracker Jacks.
No doubt about it. I mean, it's a catch game for us. You know, you beat Webb City, you got Carthage in 2 weeks. So if you go out there and you don't take care of your business, I mean, they're really not that bad. If you really sit down and watch them, they've been beat by some really good teams. They played Carthage as well as anybody's played them this year. You know, they got beat by Webb, but in the Webb game, I think it was 10-7 at halftime or something like that. You know, they wear down a little bit because they have a lot of guys going both ways, but, you know, they could easily put it on us if we're not ready to play when we go over there. Now, we're going to be ready to play because our kids are going to, you know, they're going to take care of their business. I'm almost 100% sure about that.
Could be I think, is it rain in the forecast on Friday? I think there may be some rain in the
forecast. And that would be fine. They going to probably throw it more than we're going to throw it. And, you know, we practice with wet balls every once in a while. We can't control the weather, so matters not to me. I got an orange poncho that looks good.
I can't wait to see Coach in an orange poncho. Well, we are going to Friday night. This Friday night, we do travel down to Carl Junction to play the Bulldogs. Of course, we'd love to have as many fans on the sidelines as possible, throwing our support towards the team. You guys really did a great job last week against Webb City. Carl Junction's not that far of a drive down the road. And, of course, Coach, as we get one game at a time, I don't want to get too farther away, but we do have some big games coming up, and it's excited to see us have a rebound game against Webb City and come out on top. Any final thoughts about the Webb City Nixa game this last Friday night?
Man, the Webb City Nixa game is gone. We're worried about our next practice and how can we get better and get ready for Friday night.
All right, there you have it, guys. Give a round of applause, our Coach Perry. That's going to wrap things up for the Nixa Touchdown Club Coaches Show. Big thanks to our sponsors tonight. Jenkins CPA, we got Big Whiskey's Bar and Grill right here in Nixa, Greg's Mower Shop, and Price Cutter. We appreciate their support, and we have many more shows to go. So please, if you're watching this, like it, share it, tell somebody about it, make some comments, and let us know what you'd like to see on the Coaches Show. I think in a couple of weeks, we're going to do a behind-the-scenes look over at one of the practices for one of the shows, so that's going to be exciting. We'll see you Friday night, Carl Junction versus the Nixa Eagles, and we're at Carl Junction. We'll see you there. Have a great evening, everybody. And that's a wrap, guys. Thanks for watching and coming tonight. If you're here tonight, don't forget to tip those waitresses and those bartenders and all that good stuff. Make sure they feel your love tonight. We'd appreciate that.